Greetings, my technology explorers. You have landed on the DataBits channel, and you've landed on a video about the Mitsubishi LaserDisc player model M-V as in Victor 6022. Now, supposedly, this LaserDisc player is a rebranded pioneer. We'll talk more about that shortly as we look on the inside of this unit. About three things we're going to cover in this video about this 30-year-old LaserDisc player, introduced in 1992. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the restoration process for this particular player. Two things. One, this power supply board went out, and I did not repair it. My son, who owns this player, found a guy in St. Louis that not only repaired this board, but also retrofitted it with an AC3 output. And I wish I could show you that AC3 output, but we moved it to a Pioneer player because this one died. So while it was awaiting its new part, we transplanted that particular piece. So if the guy in St. Louis gives me permission, I'll put information about him in the description of this video. The other thing we're going to look at is how badly this plastic here has oxidized or deteriorated over time. And I don't know if you've been on social media lately and seen ads for it, but this particular stuff promises to restore plastic like this. And I watched the video like a million times. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to order some and I'm going to try it. As you can see, I used a bunch of it on my car. It's almost gone. I don't know. It's very Armor All-like, and they're not paying me to promote this product. I just want to actually test drive it for you. So two things, the plastic on the front of this needs to be restored. And secondly, if you buy one of these, there's a pretty good chance you're going to have to replace this board or recap it. I don't know. It may have just needed a recapping. But since we knew this guy, and the guy in St. Louis, that's the repairman, he actually bought this player from him already retrofitted. So we went back to him and said, hey, the power supply went out. And he's like, hey, I got one. I got a repaired one. So we made a deal with him and got the board. So we're going to look at whether this stuff will work. Do you like my sponge? Isn't that lovely? Get it? Lovely. Sorry, that was bad. We're going to use this stuff on the front. Then we're going to open it up, and I'm going to show you where the power supply is and look for evidence that this thing is actually a rebranded Pioneer. I think we'll find some clear evidence on the inside. Stay with me. We are going to explore the Mitsubishi LaserDisc player M-V6022. All right, here we go. So here is the process for this stuff. We're going to take a little bit of this and put it on this sponge. And I got to do this video in one take here because apparently if I mess up the video, I don't get a second chance to show this restoration process. The pressure's on. All right, so I've got my stuff on here. Let's give it a whirl. Here we go. Gonna rub it over the top. Come on. Work. Restore the plastic. Come on, do what you're promised to do. Do this. Well, I don't know if it has to develop or what the deal is, but so far, no good, folks. Maybe it doesn't work on LaserDisc players. That could be a thing. Let's try it on the front here. Well, I was awaiting an absolute miracle here. The miracle has not happened. Going ahead and just putting it all over the place. I would say no. And quite honestly, I'm surprised because it looks like a lot of the plastic in those videos. Yeah, I don't know if there's a film on this thing or what, but yeah. Okay, miracles did not occur with the Garage Bowls plastic restorer. Now, I will say that on stuff that wasn't this heavy, it did work in my car. Like, for example, if you used it on something that was just black and plastic and old and dry looking, like this capacitor, I mean, it will shine that particular type of product up and make it look new and shiny again. But it did not eat off this film or whatever it is that's on the player. Okay, test is done. Sorry guys, and sorry Garage Bulls. Did not have a good example for you here. All right, let's get the hood off of this thing and take a look inside. Okay, we now have the hood off of the unit, and here's a circuit board on the inside, and we're looking for evidence that this is a Pioneer unit, but I'm not seeing anything. I see a Toshiba chip. I see the CX noise reduction chip. I see markings where the AC3 tapped in to this unit. This is an auto reverse unit, and so the auto reverse carriage equipment is right here. We'll demonstrate that shortly. There is our new power supply in its place right there. Let's go ahead and pop the drawer out the front so we can see a little bit more of what's going on. Maybe take a look at the laser. And the laser should be right there in the center of your screen. And there is the spindle where your laser discs and CDs will rest during their playback. And we've got the circuitry that covers our display on the front of the unit going on there. Yep, very cool. Now, we didn't go over the jacks on the back or the controls on the front, so let's spend a little bit of time looking at that briefly. This unit does have digital output on it, so this is your PCM optical out right there. That would allow you to play DTS encoded discs. Now, if you don't know what AC3 is, it's essentially Dolby Digital, which was encoded also on LaserDiscs and required extra equipment to demodulate and interpret that data that was stored on there. So we've got two audio outs. We got 1 and 2 there, left and right. We've got an S video out, our composite video out going on there. We've got our date badge right there. And we've got our model number. On the front of our extra slick equipment here, we have the jog shuttle control, which is labeled scan, and it has reverse and fast forward there. We have forward search and rear search. Is that what that stands for? It's RS and FS. We've got open and close, stop, play, pause, direct CD, which usually just turns the video signal off. And then we've got a display on and off there, which is for this display. And up here at the top, we have random play, single, highlight intro scan, soft picture, and quick flip. Over here, we've got power with a little standby light, a headphone jack with a volume control next to it, and that pretty well covers the controls on the front of the unit. Here's something that's kind of fun to watch. When you close the tray, the laser is going to look in two different places for a disc. So it looks where a laser disc would be, and it looks where a CD could be to play either one of those discs. So that's kind of a cool function. Now let's actually put a disc in and watch it spin up. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Where's my disc? My disc is still stuck in there. That's weird. Okay, now let's throw in a laser disc. sounds a little rough. All right, now let's do the quick flip. Here we go. Does that do something? Quick flip. Quick flip. How about side selector? Here we go. Side B.
How much pizza do Americans eat every day? A, enough to cover 3 football fields, including end zones. B, enough to cover 27 football fields, including end zones. Or C, the equivalent of 56 football fields, including end zones. The answer is C. Everyday Americans consume about 75 acres of pizza. That's the equivalent of about 56 football fields. Last year, the Food and Drug Administration issued new guidelines that will help make ingredient labels on food products more understandable. Manufacturers have until 1993 to comply. So in the meantime, here's SRTV food industry analyst Phil Lempert with a few tips on how to decipher the small print and gobbledygook on the back of those packages.
Take a look at this. You think you're buying a turkey dinner, don't you? Well, you're really buying a gravy dinner. There's a lot of products out there like this. Did you ever wonder why gravy comes first? Well, it's no accident. The federal government makes them do that. That's because there's more gravy in this package than meat. Let's take a look to see just how much. I've separated the turkey from the gravy, and let's see what we got. Now, I've adjusted the scale to compensate for the package. We've got about 1/3 of a pound of turkey. Let's see how much gravy there is. Over a pound more. When you pick out a product in the supermarket, don't just go by the front of the package. Turn it around and check out the ingredient panel. It tells you some very important things about what you're buying. The ingredients are listed in descending order by weight. And watch out for the technical jargon that manufacturers use that you need to unscramble. Words that end in OSE are usually sugars. Sodium anything is salt. Read that ingredient panel.
Special Reports Television is brought to you by Colgate, the world's leading toothpaste, and by Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
And this will conclude our video about the M-V6022 Mitsubishi LaserDisc player from 1992. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share this video with a couple friends. Subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments below. I do try to read every comment, but as you guys know, life gets busy. So, again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.